A planned pregnancy turned my husband into a monster. It feels like a cruel joke. Years before I met my husband, I was in such a toxic, abusive relationship that it almost ended my life. I spent years in therapy, bettering myself, and figuring out why I accepted that type of love. After being single for years, I was vigilant in watching for any red flags when I finally entered the dating scene. Heck, I even took things slowly when there were nothing but green flags. Thanks to my ex, I was familiar with love bombing. I met my husband at a work event, and things just fell into place. I opened up and explained my past trauma, and I let him know that if we were going to date, it would require a slow pace and patience. I won't say he was perfect, but he was always kind, compassionate, and caring. We dated for about 5 years, engaged for 1, and have been married for a little over 3 years now. We recently bought our second home together. We both got promotions at work, so we sat down and talked about kids. He wanted a big family, and I only wanted 1 or 2. We agreed on 2, and we started trying. It didn't take long, and here I am 6 months pregnant, still working, with swollen ankles and a back that won't stop aching. Other than that, I've been very happy, and have what I thought was a supportive husband. 3 weeks ago, I found out that he was having an emotional affair, and honestly, probably a physical one. When confronted with the evidence, he admitted to not being attracted to me while pregnant. I'm wrecked. I haven't gained unnecessary weight. I still take care of myself, even with the morning sickness that hasn't gone away. He's not sorry about it, but you told me that I was being overdramatic when I cried. He is staying with his family until he can find a home to rent. He doesn't want to get a divorce. He says that after the pregnancy is over, we can go to therapy and fix things. I don't want to. I cannot physically look this man in the eye anymore without feeling disgust. I have a text from him saying that he's my only option because no man wants to date a single mom. I'll be talking to a lawyer and figuring out how to divorce him. I just wanted to vent into the void today. For now, I'm going to DoorDash some nuggets and a Frosty from Wendy's, and be okay if I gain 5 pounds from it. Thanks for listening and reading, I suppose. Relevant comments. Someone offers to buy OOP food. Thank you for the offer. I already ordered my food and am stuffed. If you'd like to head over to the free food subreddit and feed someone who's in need, they need it more than I do. In response to a now deleted comment, I don't think you deserve the amount of dislike for asking a question. Maybe it was in the way you worded it. Who really knows? Emotional was how I decided to word it, because what else do I call talking? He was telling a very young, naive woman how hot she was and how he couldn't wait to touch her body, telling her he loved her, but then claimed they never met. He would complain to her that I wasn't fun anymore. They obviously sent pictures back and forth due to comments, but they deleted the pictures. I asked him about all his overtime at work, and he couldn't give straight answers, hence the physical aspect of things. This man went from working maybe 40 hours a week to 60, and I may be dealing with pregnancy, but I'm not stupid. You didn't ask this, but I'm putting it here because people have brought it up and they may read this comment. I would never expect my husband, or whatever you want to call him, to find my changing body attractive. Pregnancy is weird. I think it's beautiful, but he or others don't have to. What I did expect was for him to not call me hideous to another woman, or to cheat, especially while I'm growing into the life we both wanted. Why do you have to move? We bought our home together, and instead of fighting it out, we'll be selling and splitting assets. Or at least I hope that's how it will be. Plus, I just don't want to be here in this house. It's too big for just a baby, plus the dog he just had to have that's currently curled up in bed with me. Clarification. Have you moved out yet? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm still in the shared home. He moved out to stay with his family until he finds another place. Edit. 2 days later. I'm making an edit because I'm not sure this sub will let me do an update post. I was told I'm not allowed to change the locks due to it being his home as well. And he came over last night, knowing there wasn't anything I could do to prevent it. Thankfully, he only grabbed some personal belongings, threatened to take the dogs, he did not, and let me know he emptied our shared account. Part of me rolled my eyes and figured he wasn't dumb enough to do that, and the other part made me make a mental note to check it once he left. Sure enough, our account has maybe $5 in it. He did a transfer, which I'll be calling the bank about and speaking to an attorney about this afternoon. Thankfully, my dad taught me you don't fully mix finances, so my savings weren't capable of being touched, and while it's not a lot, it's enough to pay for the fees over the next few weeks. I don't have any family left, so I think he's doing a power play to make me feel like I'm alone and need him, when in all reality, it's lit a fire under my ass. That I don't want or need such a garbage person in my life. Thank you to everyone who's reached out with comments, kind messages, and helpful advice. Before we move to the first update, it would mean the world to me if you hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to reach 500 subscribers by the end of the month. Daily stories are coming. First update, 5 days later. I wanted to do an update on how many people took the time to send messages, leave comments, and share their own personal stories, which especially helped me not feel so alone. As mentioned in an edited post, I was not allowed to change the locks on our house due to both of our names being on them. I never feared for my safety, it was more of an annoyance. He showed up to grab some personal belongings, and I thought that would be the worst that would happen. It was like he was trying to get a reaction from me. He told me he transferred funds and emptied out the account. I didn't believe him until I saw it myself. That was both of our money, so that's being dealt with right now. He showed up the day before yesterday completely drunk, begging to talk, and increasing in anger when I would just ignore him and walk away. It kept increasing, so I went to grab my bag and walk down the road to a neighbor's home so I wasn't alone. He grabbed my arm to stop me, and when I yanked it away, he slapped me, almost a backhanded open slap. The cops were called. I didn't have a mark on my face, so it was my word versus his. They escorted him off the property, and I'm only now assuming he's back with his parents now. He did throw a fit about the dogs, and does have proof of ownership, so I'm guessing he'll be able to take them. I went to leave to go for a drive to clear my head after everything, and realized 3 of my 4 tires were flat. I know it was him, but I don't have proof. Insurance won't cover it, so I'm going to a tire shop on Friday morning. Just another small part of the whole. As for the attorney, I've had my consult, and I'm waiting for my check to come in for my actual appointment, and getting the ball moving on this. There's not any family left, and a few close friends are kept in the loop. But I don't want to burden them or treat them like unpaid therapists, so I think that's why I came back to Reddit. There is something therapeutic about just typing it all out into the void. The baby pregnancy is okay. I've actually lost weight, and the doctor has told me to avoid stressful situations and to take things easy. I'll be calling to see if I can change the locks on the home now, and if not, I'm going to start looking for places. Relevant comments. It's okay to burden one of your friends. Otherwise, you could stay in a women's shelter for safety. Staying with friends isn't possible. A lot are out of state, and my lawyer mentioned abandonment of assets. Plus my job and doctor are here. I do have someone coming out and putting a few cameras up, and thankfully the neighborhood is aware and keeping an eye out. This is all short term, of course, and the goal is to leave. There's just a ton of reasons why that can't be right at this moment. Unfortunately, all of my friends are out of state and too far away from my work and doctor, and I was recommended to stay on the property so he couldn't go after me for abandoning the assets. OOP's best friend. Thank you. While I'm trying to do what I can and stay safe, my friends are on the other side of us. What we're doing right now is FaceTime and phone calls. My best friend has outright said that if she calls and I don't call back within 5 minutes of our setup time, she's calling the police. She also put in some time off of work and wants to come up to help me look at places and just be there in general. I'm not going to lie, I'm struggling in every way possible, and I'm scared, but I know I have a support system to lean on. Cameras. My neighbor has some they're letting me use until I can afford to buy some better ones. They have video, but no audio. At this point, I'm glad to know I'll at least have something. I hope you get that money back. I really hope so too. He seriously transferred everything but $5 from the checking and the savings, which didn't even have his name on them. Wait, how? Yeah, we had a shared laptop, and I didn't think he could get into it, but I'm somehow thinking he managed with passwords or something. I've filed a dispute with the bank, and they're investigating it, along with a fraud report at the police station. The bank mentioned that with it being my husband, they may not approve the dispute, so that's why I went and did a report at the police station. Relationship with in-laws, can you start the divorce proceedings sooner than the birth? While I would consider it a civil relationship with his in-laws, they are his parents. And in their eyes, he can do no wrong. He's an only child, and they have a very close relationship. His mother apologized on his behalf, but I asked to put myself in his shoes. They choose to wear blinders to the entire situation. With the divorce, that's the whole attorney thing. I've done a free consultation. The attorney and I agreed on the assets. And how things are going, it won't be a mediation, and will be a long, expensive court battle, knowing how spiteful he's being. They have recommended a police report on any issue to have it filed, to not block contact with him for proof of harassment, and to think the best course of action is selling the property and splitting assets. I'd love to just focus on my pregnancy and myself, but due to safety reasons, I'm staying on top of legal issues. Second update, 9 days later. Final update. I changed my locks and figured if he'd get the law involved, I'd use my pregnancy brain, and being forgetful, give him a spare set. He broke in late last night. I was able to contact the police before I confronted him, but due to his location, I knew it would be a bit. I tried walking by him to leave the house, but every time I would, he'd shove me. Once hard enough to make me stumble and fall backwards. The eerie part is, he never once yelled, threw things. One of the items hit me, causing an emergency room visit requiring stitches, and said the most vile things. He hated me. I should kill myself. How useless I was, etc. Yet never once raised his voice. I'm not saying that in a good way. I wish he would have yelled. It was a fight or flight instinct, and I found out mine was to freeze. I hate that for myself. He was arrested, and his mother had already bailed him out. I'm staying at a hotel thanks to a work advance and looking into apartments. I won't be stepping foot into that home we shared until my best friend is here, and even then, it will be with the police with us. Nobody can figure out what made him change almost overnight. The only thing I'm guessing is a psychotic break, but I'm not a therapist or doctor. Besides some ugly bruises and some stitches, myself and the baby are fine. My lawyer feels like this is enough to get a protection order for myself and will include the pregnancy or baby. Next time I see him, he will be at court. Sorry, I'm rambling, and maybe this doesn't make any sense. For now, I'm safe and can sleep well for the first time in weeks. I've got the dogs. Nobody is aware of where I am besides one close person and the police. Relevant comments. Could it be a head injury? I wish he was hit in the head. Fucker deserves it. On a serious note, nothing changed. There was no outside stress, no injuries, and nothing that I'm aware of. I know it sounds unbelievable, but once the mask slipped, the gloves were off. I think he thought he wanted it, to the point where he tried to believe that was what he wanted or the right thing to do. It's hard. It's so damn hard. I wish I could hate him, but I just feel sorry for him. That does not mean I will ever go back or, at this point, talk to him without the law involved. I'm choosing myself and the little one, and really, it's his loss. Can you get an abortion? I've had a couple of those comments, so don't take this reply personally, just the one I'm using. Abortion is not in the books for me. I'm not anti-abortion, and I feel like it's a right women should have. And it's heartbreaking what our nation is going through when it comes to women having that striped away. I'm 6 months pregnant. I can feel her move. I love her. She isn't a fetus to me. She is a baby. If I was 4, 8 weeks old, yeah, maybe it would have been an option, but it isn't now. I will take every step to make sure we are protected. I will love her enough for the both of us, and I will not let her sperm donor have the opportunity to hurt her. Third update, 16 days ago. The police met me at my home to grab some personal belongings, and pretty much anything and everything else I could grab. Thanks to the user who recommended me calling the non-emergency number, it was smooth sailing. He wasn't home, I didn't have the fear of him showing up, and both officers were very kind. What I walked into, on the other hand, was not very fun. This man looked like he went on a bender. Bleach on clothes, food everywhere, and personal belongings just destroyed, especially the nursery. I was able to salvage a lot of the bigger items and pack what I could. They're now in storage until I move into my place. I took pictures, and as aggravating as it was, especially with the 1 step forward and 2 steps back, I'm hopeful that there'll just be another thing used against him to prevent custody. As far as him, He has no way of contacting anyone other than his attorney or email, and it's been quiet on both ends. His parents have not reached out, and I don't even know what I'd say to them if they tried, so no loss there. His girlfriend, yes, girlfriend, as I found out, has been trying to contact me via friends to let me know she's pregnant. I'm unsure if that's true or not, but that at the very least confirms the affair and how well he kept things hidden. I do want to clear the air. I made a post asking for helpful information on resources that could potentially help, and someone made a comment saying I was in it for a long con, and that's just untrue. I have not and will not accept any personal items or donations other than advice, and maybe an internet hug. Editor's note: OOP deleted the post she is referencing. See comment below. While I wish my story were made up, it is not. Maybe it's a venting board. Maybe it's just connecting with people who have been in the same situation, but it helps keep me sane. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. Thank you all for listening and checking up on me. I'm safe. I'm good. Pregnancy is the only thing kicking my ass, and I'll make sure to make a post in a few months, letting y'all know she's here and that we made it. Bye for now. OOP's comment on this post: oh, trust me, I'm having bad days with it, especially emotionally. I'm sure the hormones aren't helping. I've debated if I turned a blind eye and if there really weren't any red flags. I've had moments where I've missed him because it's not just a switch. We loved each other, or at least I loved him. This is a person I planned a future with and had a past with. It's really just an emotional roller coaster, and that's okay. I don't think there's a right or wrong way to handle all of this, but I'm doing my best. OOP's comment on the post she deleted: I'm not asking for money, and I'm sorry if it came across that way. I can provide proof and anything else. I've had multiple people reach out and ask if they could help, and I've always turned it down. The only thing I'm asking is for someone to point me in the direction of an organization that I may not know of. If that's coming across that way, though, I can and will delete my post. It wasn't my intention.